Where's the sun? Holy shit, I can't see it. Are you serious right now? Are you serious right now? All right, who's ready for some boom, baby? Where'd the sun go? Boom! I don't know. Seriously, I can't spot the sun in the sky right now.
Yeah, it's cloudy.
Fucking way cloudy though. Usually you see a little bit of orange or a little bit of white light, but that's all right. Day after my birthday, let's get this morning motivation going. Yeah, just some thug looking for love, some little weirdo being dumpy. But yesterday was not dumpy. Yesterday was my birthday, and I'm happy. Bless up for Saints Addiction. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe below. Morning motivation is not the fake. It's the fucking real. You know, this morning I had to fucking chew out my Indian editor because he made me looking like I was Sundance Festival and from Vegas to the world, and pretty much trying to paint the picture as if it was perfect, and I am not trying to paint a pretty picture. Matter of fact, I'm trying to show that I'm the mistake master. I masturbate, my nose runs, I don't have any children, you know what I mean? My life is not polished. It's not a polished act. This isn't my Sunday's best. Matter of fact, it's Tuesday, and it's the day after my birthday, and it's a normal day for everyone else. What's not normal is the way that you make it day one or one day. One of my favorite shirt designs that I've made for my friend Erica, but day one or one day, you decide. And I think she got that from the military, but you know, everybody does this. Yeah, I'm gonna do better by myself, but I let myself down, and that's where Saints Addiction's message lies. You know, I had to stop my lies, I had to realize my lies, and then I had to realize reality and see that most of the time I was distracting myself. I love my weed. I love hanging out with my friends. And Lord knows I can be trapped in the Tickerilla Triangle like anyone. You know, my comfort zones. That's where dreams go to die. My life, even the day after, I'm just grateful that I made it to 45. I'm like pinching myself. I'm like, holy shit, a half century. I remember being a kid in front of the computer when I was like 8 years old, and they pointed at it and they're like, you need to learn this to be in the future. And yes, they used to put in the disc. Do you remember this? Putting in the disc and flopping it? Oh my God, you're old with me. Yeah, dude, you used to have to flop a disc, and then you have to pull it out and give it another disc because it didn't have that much data. Fucking floppy disk. Fuck your cassettes. I remember, what's the one, the disc? Do you remember the microfiche disc? Before they became really small, they were this fucking big.
No.
They're like bigger than a Frisbee. They're like, look like vinyls.
Yeah.
You remember that? That's how much data. How much data do you think's on a vinyl? Not much, huh? Like an MP3.
I don't know.
Sounds like a Google question to me. And that's what I keep questioning. I keep questioning my authenticity. I don't question my authenticity, but I question other people's authenticity. When they get on these things, they want other people to feel like they got their circle light on and their hair and makeup's done and they got their perfect coffee, and they start a podcast and they're making a show. This is not a show. This is a mission. This is a message. The message is to get to people and say, I too am flawed. You know, that's honestly flawed. That's what Saints Addiction's all about. That I don't pretend that I don't have a perverted side, and I don't pretend that I don't have a sexual side, and I don't pretend that I masturbate, or I don't pretend that I'm holier than you, and I've been to Catholic school, and I grew up with nuns, so I should be perfect. No fucking way, bro. All the naughty Catholic school girls, all the weird folks, all the people that hide from their other selves. This is a psychology. I went to school for psychology, and there's a flicker of a flame in everyone's house, and I wanted my house to be not a flame but lit from inside like someone's home. And I look at most of these people and I'm knocking on their soul and nobody is home. I literally went past my friend over here at the S Market and I couldn't even sense him. He's been doing so many drugs and injecting. I hear he's injecting heroin. I didn't even sense him as a human being. He was all sulked over. Remember Mika? We walked right past Mika, and he was all sulked over. And after I blocked him, he had the audacity to get on Instagram and say something. And I was just like, bro, get healthy. That's what I told him. While he was calling me a parasite, I was telling him, get right, bro. You're the one with kids. You're about to have grandkids and shit. And you're over here a genius, and you're over here doing heroin? Gus, you're not as smart as you think you are. You know what I mean? And I call out my friends. I'm an agitator. I'm an instigator. It's one of my designs. But I want them to have the best in their lives, you know? What kind of friend would I be if I keep inebriating them or let them be weak or let them not grow? I don't know. I'm not that kind of person, though. There ain't no fakeness over here, player. This is a real person that switched his life from a real depression to away from real addiction to and away from negativity to positivity to reality to imagination. And that's where I put my energy. And it keeps growing. This energy of me, this inner gangster, bro, I'm doing some gangster things. Everything that I get more ballsy to do become into reality. More prettier models, more riskier shoots, more travel. You know, I just booked a fucking Airbnb. They didn't open yesterday for my birthday, but I booked the Airbnb for another week, 8 days, for $400 because I wanted my peace. You know, I need to come up with a plan. Do I leave Finland and go to Denmark straight away, or do I stay around and figure it out so I can enjoy another month here and enjoy the spring? You see my breath, still cold out here, till this bitch warms up. Yesterday we were at the fucking cabin, and I said, finally, after 2 days of straight rain, the spring sprung, and she opened her legs. Yeah, she was still wet, but she was fucking shining. And all of a sudden I'm in my shorts and shirt going like, oh, that's what spring looks like. Oh, you want it? Oh, no, she's teasing us again. No, she wants to pretend like she's winter. Moody bitch. Pick a mood, bitch. Pick a mood. But it's for reals, dude. It's about to be shiny if you pick your mood. If you drop your attitude, you stop being rude to yourself, stop the negative thoughts, the automatic negative thoughts. I can't do, I don't have enough money. The moment I spent that money, I was like, abundance. I said, more business deals. As soon as I spent it, I told Yoni, I said, let's go make some more. You know, this is the plan, is to just keep growing and not live in fear where the next paycheck's going to come from, or how the trip's going to end up, or where I'm going to be. I'm just going to be. And to me, that makes all the difference. That makes it all worth it. You know, a life lived, instead of looking back in regret. I can go and close my eyes and be back on the Great Wall of China. I can be back at Christ the Redeemer in Brazil, Angkor Wat in Cambodia, Machu Picchu in Peru, bro. It's been fucking amazing life and a journey, and I got stories to tell, and I'm sure I'll save it for the podcast, but the mission and the message is for people to make it their day one. Not just what do they call them? New Year's resolution? But a contract with their soul. That they're not going to let their soul die before they live. That they're going to express their fears and light up that area of their darkness, light up that room that seems to be full of cobwebs, full of darkness. Go do your shadow work. Go in there, start doing those mental push-ups. You know, most of my exercises are mental exercises to tell myself, you know, hey, don't start thinking of negativity. Don't start thinking that you're running out of money. Don't start thinking that you won't ever make more. And even if when I had 5,000 didn't make me more secure than 3,000, you know what I mean? Or the cushion that we give ourselves for our comfort. I ripped the carpet right from underneath me. And so did my mom, throwing my shit out a month before. And so did my ex-roommate, illegally evicting me and throwing my shit out again. I was just like, fuck me, man. But I killed that negativity. I don't say fuck me, I say I love me. And I do that in the morning when I brush my teeth with my left hand, to reprogram my brain into the positive. I have a friend that was going to be on the couch. I didn't even plan it. And I said, I'm going to stay with Tuomo tonight. And he said, really? And I said, yeah. How did I know? How did I know? Of course, I try to get my own Airbnb first, but I wanted to be around my friends. Now with my Google Photos, it's popping up from years ago on my birthday. The last two were alone, and then there was another one that popped up and I was alone again. That's fucked up. I was in Mallorca last time in Spain. I took myself out to an Indian dinner and I ate it by myself. And they came out and sang happy birthday to one guy at a table. That's kind of embarrassing. Just one guy and they're singing me happy birthday. What else? What else? What else? I was alone pretty much for my London birthday about 2 years ago when I went to visit, and the guy and I were supposed to go into London, and he was supposed to DJ, and he had his name on the fucking flyer, and he still didn't show up. Like, he was supposed to be there to DJ, and he quit because we didn't have a place to stay. And I was like, bro, you got Airbnb on your phone too. Why don't you use it? Why don't you help this situation? Why don't you make it more real? And he didn't. He'd rather quit. Even with his name on the fucking flyer, he quit. And I was just like, you're not like me. And I ended up being alone then. And then this last birthday in Thailand, thanks to Miles, he was supposed to come out that night, but I was technically on my birthday. I ate alone. I was supposed to go eat pizza. They were closed. I ate Mexican food at El Barrio all alone. And then my girlfriend broke up with me the next day. Thankfully, Miles was there. We went back and ate the pizza that I didn't get to eat on my actual birthday. But I was like, I'm not going to be alone anymore. And I was so grateful for all my team. I call them my team, my boys in Finland, to be with me and chopping wood and being out in the rain and doing manly shit and fucking sitting in the sauna and getting up to 90 degrees and jumping into the lake and doing push-ups. And my boys, no, get deep, go, 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 go. You know what I mean, bro? Like, come on, push-ups, push-ups, push-ups. You know, you need people to push you up, not push you down. Push your spirits, push you around, you know, like get you to fucking get out of your fucking mind. And that's what I've been doing with my friend Ginny Face. I'm like, get unpanty locked, get off that fucking couch. She's locked on the couch, so she's mad at herself that she can't even get off the couch, but she stays on the couch. That's all of us. All of us. Too much couch time, too much phone time, not enough nature time, not enough team time, not enough exercise. And I told that to Yoni. I said, you're rich, bro. Not because you have money, it's because you have good friends. Friends that help clean up. All of us fucking make a great team. You should have seen us going into the grocery shopping. We all splintered out and got everything we needed. Chopping the wood, we all worked together and everybody had the union, the worker, and the boss. They had their own team names and everybody executed beautifully. By the time we were done, all the logs had been split. Everything had been stacked and it was perfect. Tits tight. For a team that didn't have that much planning, it was really cool to witness, and it was cool to not be alone, and it was cool to have a man time. And I told people that's what keeps men from being suicidal, right? We talk about mental health matters. That's one of my shirts, but men's mental health matters. This is what we do. Yeah, sure, we're just drinking, they're drinking beer and chopping wood, but they're also doing bonding. You know what I mean? They're bonding as men, so that way we can talk about our mental aptitude. We can talk about the women in our lives or the children in our lives. And that's what most of the conversation was about, was our lives, you know, just sports and talking about darts and Formula One, and they get to express themselves where they normally can't. Right? There was the one guy that said it, and it was kind of funny, but there's a meme on Facebook or whatever, YouTube, where it's a pretty hot chick. She's got big tits, and the husband, and they should have been Hollywood actors, but they're like parents turned influencers, not influencers, but YouTubers, not even YouTubers. What do you call it when you make reels just to be popular, just to be a comedian? I don't know what you call it. You know what I'm saying? They do a series. They're a couple in real life that have real children, and they do funny jokes all the time, right? And they include their friends and shit. So one of them was like, he pulls up like a hooker and he goes, how much to tell me that you're proud of me? She was like 20. And he was like, how much to say it and mean it? She was like, that'll be 50. He's like, okay, that's so cheap. And he pays her 100, and she's like, I'm really proud of you. You're doing a great job. Keep it up. And she took the 100 and put it in her cleavage and it walked off. He didn't want a blowjob. He wanted appreciation. He wanted acknowledgement. He wanted someone to say they were proud of him, and he paid for that. And obviously it's his wife playing the hooker, which is kind of funny. But in the movie, that's what was so cool about it, because the other one was just the other girl was, I think she was already in the hotel as the hooker and doing the things, but Most of the things were just telling them. She was sitting there in the bathtub going, show me all your fish pictures. Wow, that's really big. Oh, wow, you did really well. You know what I mean? All the things that men really want women to do, but women do to us. Like, look at our nails. We're like, I don't want to look at fucking nails. I hate nails. What are you talking about? They want us to be interested in something they're interested in. It. So the reverse was a man showing her fish pictures and her not being bored and really interested and go, wow, that's a really big one. You know what I mean? He was just like, yeah, here's my fish pictures. And then they got girls dressing up where they're acting like boys, showing off like their things like their fish. You know what I mean? Like they're proud of something and they're pretending like they got a big fish or they're like putting it by their junk and shit. They're like, if women were like men showing off their fish, like for their, I don't know, let's say their beauty care product or something, it's hilarious, bro. They're mocking us, but we are like that. We are wanting to get appreciation. We do want to show off. That's why most people are on social media. And the girl was fucking funny about it, bro. She was like, I'll have to find it for you, but this is just us. We're all looking for love. We're all looking for friends. We're all looking for appreciation, and that's what I got yesterday, and that was perfect for my birthday. That's all I wanted. I didn't want to be alone. I wanted some nature time. I wanted some peace of mind. Really, that's what I really wanted, and I got it. So there's no complaining here. It's just gratitude, and I am grateful. And I think that's the best present I could get, and being present at the cabin and by the woods and listening to the birds chirp and fly over, and the swan bathe itself in the picture perfect water, and it was perfectly clear where it was a mirror image of the trees to the water. It was such a blessing, such a blessing. So I got what I wanted for my birthday, and it's day one to keep going after everything that I want. Look at these trees going. Can't stop springtime, bro. Look at it. They're blooming, bro. They're roses. The roses. They're thorns. Oh my God. It's beautiful. Look at this. Spring has sprung. And there's nothing that else can be done but to move forward. And all of us, every day that we get, it's not just every birthday. It's not every decade. It's literally almost a half century of awesome experiences. And when I sat in the sauna by myself in the 80 degrees and kind of getting spiritual with it, it was just like, man, there's just too many memories. And I said, are you not trying in your head? And I was just like, no, it's just a lot of data. You know, shifting over 45 terabytes of data would take a long ass time, and that's what it feels like. I feel like I'm file cabinets of data and memories and just fucking experiences. But that's not what it is. It's like I'm holding the data, but I want more data, right? I'm data thirsty like AI is. You know, I want more. I want more. I want to push it further. I was telling my friends that's what true addiction is, right? I'm addicted to the happiness. I'm straight and happiness addiction is my thing, where I wanted to sprinkle on more things. That's why drugs participated, because if I wasn't happy, well, let's add some cocaine. If I'm not happy, let's add some alcohol. If I'm not happy, let's add some pussy. Let's get it to that level, and it still didn't make me happy. And that's what really dawned on me, that you think these things, these fake dopamines, the things that we dopamine map ourselves to, and we find our way somehow, some way. I kept telling them, if it's a hot girl across town, you'd find a way. Yeah, you always find a way to get back to your cocaine, your nicotine, your amphetamine, your caffeine, you name it. There's a neural pathway right there waiting for you to do something, and you're just like, why do I do the things that I do? Well, because you're looking for pleasure. My thing too is pleasure, but I wanted to sustain pleasure, some sustainability here, where it doesn't let me down, where there is no come down, where I'm not out of financial ruin, or I didn't hurt myself or hurt someone else. You know, I was telling my friend, he's like, why you don't drink? Why you don't drink? You pussy. And I was like, because exactly this, you know, I was like, I start fighting my friends. If you were calling me a pussy and I was drunk, I would start fighting you. You know, I've bit the fingers off of strangers at a cabin before. I've shit my pants. I'm like, I've lost a day, and I've lost 2 days, one in Vegas and one in Finland, drinking with my Finland friends. And I want to remember this. This is my birthday. I don't want to ruin it for myself. You know, I don't want to let myself down. It's not like I can't drink. It's just like, you wouldn't like me if I drank, bro. We wouldn't be friends after. I wouldn't be friends with myself. So I'm gonna keep it the way I am, and you can keep teasing me and kind of poking the bear and pulling the tiger's tail, but I'm gonna enjoy my birthday thoroughly. And I did, and I kept it in peace, and I was surrounded by friends and a new friend, and genuine and real and plentiful and abundant. There was so much fucking steak and pork and ribs and pulled pork and fucking crispy potatoes, and you just name it, bro. Full cheeses. Uh, what's the cheese you guys call it? Horchata cheese? It's not horchata. Horizon cheese. You guys put it on top of the Hesburger. Apparently, you put it straight on the grill. Comes in little squares. It's halom. Halom cheese. I think it's called halom.
Hello.
Yeah, and it's got big in Finland, but it's from
Yeah.
Turkey.
It's Greece.
Greek, yeah. So this Greek cheese, everybody was farting for about halloumi, yeah. And apparently, I've never had it before, but it's way better than like a cheddar or a mozzarella. I don't even know what to call it. We were looking up creme fraiche for Mexican cheese, the crumbly cheese, but it's not the same. It's different. But it is cool that I got something different. And they're like, this is so good. They put it on the hamburgers. And I was like, no fucking way. And then apparently you guys put an egg and pineapple on the hamburger as well.
Oh, yeah.
An egg and pineapple, bro. I'm just like living in a world different from my own. You know what I mean? Finland, you're on your own. But you guys are on your own, bro. Do your fucking thing. But different experiences. You know, that's what I get my riches from. You know what I mean? I would have never known about halom cheese. I would have never got to taste it or enjoy it or go get a burger with it on it. I still haven't gone to Hesburger and gotten one. They didn't listen to me for my birthday, but we did eat big burgers. Yoni bought my lunch and bought all the food. I participated. We put in the pump. We cut the wood. And that's what it is. My spiritual mentor told me, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. It's the fundamentals, and we looked up the words. It's the essentials. I needed to be around friends. I needed to be around nature, and I needed to be chopping wood and carrying water, and that's it. Both things we did. We had chopped about 8 trees down, and had to carry in the water because we didn't have any electricity, so we had to heat our own bathing water from the sauna and leave a big tub in the sauna, so when it got hot, the other water would get hot and we could bathe ourselves. That's some Fina shit right there.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, that's normal. And I'm like, this is lake water. Right, exactly. Cabin shit, bitch. So, like, you know, real man shit, you know, chopping woods, carrying water, and just being manly and expressing ourselves. And I can't get any better than that. So I'm just grateful for the day after my birthday. It's not an after day. It's day one to start every dream that I have. Like, literally, I got the models lined up. We got to get the apartment. One of these days, this fucking weather will snap and act right. You know what I mean? Like, one of these days, this bitch might get out of her fucking comfort zone and give us some warmth like she did at the fucking cabin one of these days. But you know, today is day one for me. It's the day one after my birthday. I usually celebrate it like a what do you call that, a New Year's resolution. Instead of being a lamey and being like new year new me, I do it by my birthday because it's literally a year around the sun, so I have attractability to it. And honestly, I'll have to do my yearly goals. I write down yearly goals, and they've all been attained. Still working on being fluent in all languages. That would be nice, you know. I would like to be fluent in all my languages. Of course, I've always liked to be in shape. I think I've kept off the weight. And then what else is on the list for this year? The new year, new me. 45. What am I gonna do with this year? I think I'm gonna finish out Sweden and Denmark. No, I know I'm going to finish out Sweden and Denmark. No more I think or I wish, or no, this is going to happen. So regardless of anything, Sweden, Denmark, maybe Germany a little bit because I have some friends over there, maybe Turkey because I have some friends over there, but I've been invited to Italy and it's really been calling me. So it's one of the places that I've never been, and it has the Colosseum, and that's one of the 7 wonders of the world, and one of my dying wishes is to see all 7 with my own eyes. Is that snow, or is that just coming off that pole?
Might be.
Oh, fuck. So, I saw 2-3 flakes come off, and I was like, no! But, yeah, no, I want to go see Rome. And my buddy lives in Pescara. And he's like, Mark, all these times you're in Europe and you never come here. Apparently, June is the best time for it. It's the cheapest because all you fuckers go in July and the price is double. everybody bounces to Italy in July and makes everything expensive. So he said June's the cheapest. He would know. He's a what you call that? Travel advisor? No, what do you call that? When you do that, he owns a travel agency. So what do they call it? A travel agent. I'll be here all week, bro. I'll be here all week. I got you. Travel agent, and for the smart ones in the back of the bus, a travel agent, and he knows everything about booking. He's so smart. He's always booked like hotels for me and shit. So, and helped me out last time with like 2,000 euros, bro. My buddy goes every winter, to Thailand with 10,000 euros, and whatever he comes back with is just like extra. Can you imagine 10,000 euros in Thailand, bro? You know what that looks like? It's like a golden god down there. So I'm getting my golden god era. I told my friend that, we were oh, bro, we almost got in a car accident. I'll tell you this story after. This close. Fucking beat through, and the guy wanted to slow down in the lane and had not a trailer, the guy before us did, but like didn't want to take the left and get out of the way, just wanted to kill the whole lane even though everybody's going 120 and I'm going like 220. I went whoosh. I thought he was doing left because he did the left turn signal. I was like, cool, I'll go around him. No, he's not. And I went like this right past him. This almost took out a side mirror. I think we all kind of just whoop, and I was just like, not this birthday, bitch. Oh, boom! My buddy was like, holy shit! And I was like, fuck, that was crazy. So I didn't lose my wallet. I didn't get into a car accident. And my buddy said, hey, can you play the Zephyr song? And I said, what would you do if it came on next? Because it's all on 200 plus music, songs, and random. And guess what randomly came on next? Red Hot Chili Peppers Zephyr song. I was like, what the fuck? This has been a hell of a weekend kind of thing. And I like Kube's song.
Yeah.
And it came on the radio too for me. So everything I pretty much asked for happened. And I didn't let it rain on my sunshine because it wasn't a Hesburger. I got a Rollies. You know Rollies? That's your hamburger joint, Rollies? Rolls, yeah. Never had it before, so there's another never have I ever. So I'm glad I had something new than the Hesburger Halom cheeseburger that I was looking forward to. It's still on the list. It's still going to happen. The reliable model photo shoot's still going to happen. And Denmark and Sweden, it's still going to happen. So I'm calling my shots for my 45-year-old birthday and making it further as it keeps growing. Everything, Faceless Porn, Intersex, Saints Addiction, everything is just amazing. And then the models wear them and they have their influence and they have their fans and they make me look good and even sexier than that, and it's just like fucking a blessing. So I don't know how to explain to people to not live in their own fear. All I keep doing is sharing like my hot tips and hot takes and my cheat codes, like I said I would reach back and get people from depression and get people from hating on their lives and maybe get some morning motivation. You know what I'm saying? I left my broken vapes inside, but it has to start somewhere, and it's day one or one day. And you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. And I hope this is your day. It's like the day literally after my birthday. And I'm still as excited, and I'm still as determined, and I'm still full of the same energy and spirit. Can't wait to fucking get this next week underneath me and really plan getting to a different country. I'd like to be here another month, bro, somehow, some way, for the spring to actually be here. And still a little bit of the summer before I go running off to Sweden, Denmark, and I'm only planning on being there a week. So 2 weeks maximum, maybe. I don't know. I have to figure this out. That's what today's for. Figure it out. So it's your morning marijuana motivation. If you got anything out of this message, do like, share, and subscribe below. But as always, peace and love. And Chigatan. That means goodbye, but not forever, and finish. And I will see you on the other side as soon as you like, share, and subscribe. But the other side of your fear, the other side of your excuses, and the other side of the world, because that's where I'll be, and that's where I am. Peace. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.